Hello dear teachers, in this video we are going to talk about the section story time of the new English textbooks. Children in all cultures grow up hearing stories from their parents, grandparents and even friends. It is through stories that we can make sense of ourselves and the world around us. That is why it is important to use a lot of stories right from class 1. Stories not just teach us language, but also make us think and wonder. Some stories inspire us, while others make us laugh or cry. Some stories even give us a good dose of reality. Stories also develop vocabulary through meaningful and interesting context. Our new textbooks have many interesting stories. The first thing you will notice is that the stories are about diverse topics which children love, like food, their wishes, superheroes, the game they play, and so on. The second thing is that many of the stories are Sikkim specific. The names of the characters are mostly local, like Maya, Ladin, Sonam, Tashi, Puchung, Amla, Ama, Boju, Pala, etc. There are references to local cuisines like momos, zero, selroti, fale, jhalmuri that are very familiar for Sikkimis. You will find stories set in all over Sikkim dealing with situations that children both urban and rural can easily identify with. In class 2, the story of the giant potato is set in Lachung, where Doma discovers a gigantic potato in her field. In class 3, under the theme Heart, the story The Buzz is set in a local heart day. Thus, the stories advocate a smooth transition between the world of the home and the world of school by giving space to the child's identity and interests while teaching. This makes the school experience less stressful for the child. We must also remember that our children come from background where there is usually very little or no English spoken at home. This is extremely important in the primary classes. When children connect to the story and enjoy it, they also talk more about it when you ask questions. Think of how much vocabulary children can develop simply by reading and talking about the stories. For example, in class 1, in the story of the Red Raincoat, the boy Ongyal is waiting for the rain. Here the word garangurung is used with reference to the word thunder. In this way, it is easy for the children to connect, understand and learn new words in English. You can use local language to a certain extent to support the learning of English. The children may respond in a local language. You write their responses on the board. For instance, if the student says pani, you can use the word in different sentences. In this context, you can bring the word water. That's how you can take the help of local language to teach English. Sometimes we get engrossed to explain the story to the children that we forget to use English. We should select the key words and phrases from stories and use them in the classroom. Otherwise, children will not be able to pick up English at all. We will talk more on this in the next section. Another thing you will observe in the new textbooks is that the stories in story time are longer and more complex in comparison to I Can Read section. For example, under I Can Read, there are poems also, whereas under story time, this is not so. Story time sections are followed by questions and activities that lead children to think, talk and write. These stories are to be read out by the teacher. How? Let us see.
How do we teach story time in the classroom? To make it simple, we can divide the teacher's responsibility here into 3 specific areas: pre-reading activity, while reading activity and post-reading activity. Pre-reading activity refers to what she can do before the actual reading, while reading activity refers to the strategies to be used while the reading activity is on. Post-reading activity refers to how we can ensure that all the learning outcomes are being met. Let us understand this with the help of an example from the Class 1 English textbook theme Water. The story is The Red Raincoat. It is about a little boy named Ongil who is eagerly waiting for the rain because he will get to wear his new red raincoat every day. He asks his Amma if he can wear his lovely raincoat and go out to play. His Amma tells him that it is not the right time to wear the raincoat because the sky was still clear, and that it is only when the dark clouds that bring rain can be seen then it would be the right time to wear. Finally, the long-awaited moment arrived. The sound of the thunder can be heard, and then it started raining. Ongil is so excited to see the rain that he runs out of the house without a raincoat, to the amusement of the reader. Now, let's begin with the lesson. Pre-reading activities are all about getting familiar with words, asking questions about illustration, pictures, and title to arouse the interest. In the story, children learn new words like the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and so on, the colors red and white, and words related to the weather like sunny, clear, dark, sky, and rain. You can take TLMs like a raincoat and an umbrella and show it to your students and ask them questions like, "Dear children, see, what have I got to the class today?" "Yes, you all are right. I got a raincoat and an umbrella." "Do you all like wearing a raincoat, or do you like carrying an umbrella?" The teacher will write down the words raincoat, umbrella on the board. You can ask children to draw raincoats and umbrella and color them. Then you can ask them questions like, "Do you all wear raincoats? What are they made of? Are they like our regular clothes? When do we wear them? Why don't we get wet when wearing a raincoat? Do you like carrying an umbrella? What color raincoats or umbrella do you like? Why do you think gumboots are so high? How does the rain sound when we wear a raincoat or carry an umbrella? Let us recreate that sound. Do all umbrellas and raincoat look the same?" The children may give varied responses. The teacher will write the answer on the board, point out what is written on the board, and read it. Ask the children to read after or along with you. Accept all answers and say, "Let's read and find out." It is very important to write the answers on the board so that they can associate the spoken words with the written words. In short, there should be plenty of planning, talking, and writing on the board. Write the words and point them out. Read them together. Ask children to repeat after you. Now, how do we assess our children? If the children are following what we are saying, then we can be sure they understand. See if they can also associate words with pictures. Now let's talk about what teachers should do during while reading. Here, it's important to read with emotion and action so children can associate speech with writing with help from actions. To show you how, I will now read a short passage from the story, The Red Raincoat. On Sunday, Ongel's Amma got him a red raincoat. Amma, can I wear it now? Asked Ongel. No, my dear, the rain are near, but just now the sky is clear, said Amma. Now show action like no. You can shake your head from left to right or right to left. Ask children also to show, and your children will learn to enjoy the story. Point at the picture while reading. Children will want to read. This is our aim. It is important to involve the children in the narration. How can you do this? After reading the first part of the story, ask questions to the children. For example, factual questions, questions that children can easily answer by looking at the picture, like, is this a boy or a girl? What is the boy's name? What is he wearing? What is the color of the raincoat, etc. Inferential questions, questions that children infer by looking at the picture, which make them think like, how old is Ongel? Where do you think he stays? Where are his friends? Where are his parents? Prediction questions, questions that help children think about what may happen, like, what do you think Ongel will do the next day? Accept all the answers and continue like this. As you continue with the story, get the children involved in the illustration and tell them, let's read to find out what happens in the story. Monday was sunny. Will it rain today, Amma? Asked Ongel. No, Ongel, not today. If you wear your raincoat, you will look funny. These strategies will make the story come alive. They will engage your children's interest. While reading stories to the children, it is important that children slowly recognize whole words and then letters. If there is a sentence that repeats, let them begin to identify it. Do this using the words printed in the textbook, big books, and the blackboard. Also, do not read and write on the board and talk at the same time. This will break the flow of the story. Rather, you should talk and write before or post story. Read and talk while reading. By now, you'll know that assessment is continuous, so we have to pay attention and see if the learning outcomes have achieved, like if the children can associate words and pictures, name familiar object seen in the pictures, identify beginning sounds of the familiar words, response orally in any language to comprehension questions related to the story, identify characters and sequences of a story, follow instructions. Now, let's discuss what to do during post-reading, which is after we finish reading the story. The first thing you should do is to talk. There are many activities in the book related to comprehension to help you. Write their answers on the board in English, even if the children answer in home language. Now, let us look at some of these activities. We have Match the Column activity, which talks about the days of the week and the weather. Then you have question related to the story, and the fun part is to make the sound of the raindrops patting the finger on your palm. Try patting your finger on your palm in this order: 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, 4 fingers, 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger. It is always good to show the children how to go about and then let them follow you. Make them draw pictures of a raincoat or an umbrella and then play with sound. While teaching sound, first say it. Then let them make the sound with the word. For instance, the word in. Ask them what are the 2 sounds they hear. Then let them add letters to the word in to make new words. Please don't limit with the words provided in the text. The teacher can further improvise and add more activities. The activities given in the book will help you to assess the children and see if the children are able to attain the learning objective given at the end of the book.
So, what are the things we need to keep in mind while teaching story time? We should avoid the following things: entering the class without proper planning, pointing out immediately wrong pronunciation, grammar, spelling, straining the child to read something, rejecting the responses of children however absurd they may seem to, because they are meaningful and valuable to the child. Instead, give further opportunities for children to talk and explain why they said something. Asking only fluent readers to read, give everyone a chance, support those who may need some time and help from your side. Don't run with the lesson. Give ample time to children to explore the story and pictures on their own. While reading stories, don't just tell the story. Take pause to ask interesting questions that are not just factual. Mark these pauses well in advance. Transact the lesson in home language. Identify well in advance the words and phrases you will use in English. Think of ways you will help children arrive at their meaning without always directly giving the meanings. We should avoid reading, writing, and talking at the same time. This will break the flow. Rather, we should talk and write, read and talk. Let us once again look at the 3 important steps. First, pre-reading activities. This is all about getting familiar with words, asking questions about illustrations, pictures, title to arouse their interest. It is very important to write their answers on the board so that they can associate the spoken word with the written word. In short, there should be plenty of planning, talking and writing on the board. Second, while reading, here it's important to read with emotion and action so children can associate the word with the action. Show actions, ask the children also to show. And lastly, post-reading. Here, teachers will continue with further comprehension activities. There are many given in the textbook, but we may also add some of our own. Remember, a lot of preparation is needed to transact the stories, plan and go. Understand the theme, understand the learning outcomes, read the teacher's page. The children would have already introduced the theme and many of the words from the picture reading. These words should put up by the teachers on the walls, charts or board. While talking, the teacher should continuously point to the words, making actions if possible. This is how children will recognize the words. When the teacher actually reads the text, the children will further recognize the words. This will build confidence. Recognizing word is the basic step to reading. The story is richly illustrated. There is plenty of opportunity to talk. Talking is very important. We should develop the curiosity of children by showing the pictures related to the stories. We should show the pictures, ask questions about them, accept all the answers and say, let's read and find out. We will have a noisy, fun class. The children will learn to enjoy the story. Children will want to read. This is our main aim. Make children want to read. Every class in the story time must always lead to this. We hope this video will help you in achieving this.